Bando Ballet. You're listening to the Waqattack Show. Now, Waqattack. This is your host, Chaudhry Waqas, and without further ado, let's get into the news stories of the day. Now, number one comes to us from the US of A, where a 75-year-old woman has just survived a wild tornado bathtub ride. Now, Charlotta Williams' head is still spinning from experience she had on Saturday night, being lifted into the air whilst inside her bathtub, which she has sought safety. Now, she's 75 years old and said on the day she was watching TV with her son in their home in Texas when they heard a roar of an approaching storm. She said, "I didn't know what it is, but..." Wait, why am I doing British accent? "I didn't know what it is, but it started. Woo! Woo! Woo!" Her son suggested they seek refuge in the tub. Now, this is advice that meteorologists actually recommend to people without an underground storm shelter because, fun fact, bathtubs are heavy and tend to be firmly anchored to the pipes. So, if there's ever a tornado in Surrey, y'all now know what to do. Now, while Williams and her son were crouching inside the bathtub, it lifted straight up and began spinning around and round like a record, baby, right round, right round. Now, a second or two later, they were outside on the ground, 20 feet separated from each other. Now, Ricky, the son, crawled to his mom and lay across her body to protect her from the swirling debris and asked if she was alive. And she, in a very cool and composed fashion, was said, "Yes, but I can't breathe because you're suffocating me." Now, imagine if the son was the actual one who killed her instead of the tornado. That would have been some very Shakespearean tragedy-level stuff right there. But that is not what happened, and she survived the tornado and her son's suffocation. And she said she's grateful to be alive and wouldn't want to repeat that same experience, saying that she is blessed and that if it were to happen again, she'd probably have a heart attack. I mean, she's 75. That's probably a true statement, so she needs to stay away from those tornadoes. Now, the Marion County in Texas, the residents are holding a fundraiser on February the 11th to help them rebuild their house that they had lost. Now, I would give you guys the link, but this is kind of low-key fundraiser, and there's not really any GoFundMe sites so that in which you can donate your PayPal stuff. So you can't donate from here, unfortunately, as much as you would have liked to donate to the flying bathtub cause. Now, the next story might intrigue you if you enjoy spiders or the act of lactation. This is because an Australian zoo is begging the public to catch deadly spiders for milking. Now, an Australian zookeeper this Tuesday urged people to catch and donate deadly funnel web spiders to help replenish the stocks for the antidote because it has been low after the recent drought. Now, this comes to us from the Australian Reptile Park, which is the country's only supplier of funnel web venom to antidote producers since 1981. Now, it relies on public to catch the spiders and actually give it to them. And this anti-venom program is now at risk because too few spiders were donated last year, and recent heat wave has encouraged more spider activities and thus more bites. Now, funnel web spiders live throughout southeastern Australia, but the only known killer is actually in the Sydney region. Because it's called Sydney funnel web spider and it's found in Sydney. Now, their large fangs and acidic venom make it a very painful bite, and a major bite can cause death within an hour if left untreated. Now, after milking the spiders, the park delivers the venom to a division of the blood plasma and the vaccine maker, which converts it into a life-saving antidote. Now, Australia has 2 funnel spiderwebs attacks every 2 weeks. However, none of them have been fatal thanks to this so-called vaccine thing. So to any Australians listening to us, especially in the Sydney region, or if you ever feel like Steve Irwin and want to go on an Australian adventure, I would highly recommend you to get a jar and a wooden spoon and simply flick the spider into the jar. Don't milk it yourself because, number one, I think you probably need a degree in milking spiders, and number two, it could end quite bad if you milk it in the incorrect way and it just ends up biting you. And finally, our last story kind of speaks for itself. A speeding driver has given police the most ridiculous excuse to why he was caught in the act of speeding on the road. Now, I don't know if you've heard of this. It's quite a popular Michael Jackson song, Blame It on the Boogie. So it says, don't blame it on the sunshine. Don't blame it on the moonlight. Don't blame it on the good times. Blame it on the wind. Yes, the wind. Now, when police officers in Western Australia stopped a speeding dude in a pickup truck this Monday, the unidentified driver claimed to be exceeding the speed limit because, and I quote, the wind was pushing me. But except it was in an Australian accent, so it's probably like, the wind was pushing me, mate. Now, the motorist was fined at least 200 Australian dollars, which is 150 US dollars, which is about 100 pounds, I think, depending on how the currency thing is going these days, for driving 10 miles per hour over the already 68 miles per hour speed limit. Now, one thing to be noted was that this dude was not in a tornado situation like the woman who survived the bathtub thing in story number 1, nor was he in some hurricane-force winds, so he doesn't have that excuse. But on one hand, we could ridicule this man for using a lame-ass excuse. But on the other hand, let's just take into account that this event took place in Australia, a place famed for things that deliberately try to kill you. Now, I won't be surprised if the winds down in Australia somehow evolved to cause human traffic accidents. I mean, their toilets already flush in the different direction. Maybe the wind does too, in the direction towards absolute destruction and carnage of human life. Okay, so that was the speeding driver who was given police the most ridiculous excuse about wind for wind being the reason for him speeding. So if you're ever caught by the police and they want to know, son, why are you driving so fast? All you have to say is the wind. I mean, it may or may not work depending on how the officer is feeling on the day. Well, that was our news stories of the day. Hope you're having a fascinatingly fun Thursday afternoon. We're going to be playing a classic from the 90s by a dude who is named after an animal called a seal. Now, unlike the voice of a seal, his voice is actually pretty nice. This is Crazy by Seal.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
Hast du etwas Zeit für mich? Singe ich ein Lied für dich von 99 Luftballons. Hab 'n Luftballon gefunden. Denk an dich und lass ihn fliegen.
99 Luftballon. Or, for all you English speakers out there, 99 Luftballons. Now, I thought that song was originally about 99 balloons being just expelled into the air itself, but apparently it's an anti-war protest song. So, yeah, back in 1983 by a German band called Nina. So that's a fun fact of the day. Now, we're going to be having a little discussion with our good friend from North Dakota, Trace. There's a word that's being tossed around a lot in the States these days called alternative facts. Now, these are facts that aren't real. I mean, they're facts that one believes, but are they the real thing? Now, that's all up to opinion. It could be your opinion that they're real facts, but they're alternative facts. So you can't say that they aren't facts because they are facts in your mind, but they technically may not be facts IRL, which is in real life. So we're going to be talking to Trace about quite a heated topic called climate change. Literally a heated topic, and we're going to be asking whether he approves of it, that it exists, or whether it doesn't exist, and get his views and get his facts, or not his facts, his alternative facts on the situation. So Trace, how are you doing, my friend? Howdy, mate. Trace, I'm 45 years old. I'm from Fargo, North Dakota. How are you doing, Trace? I'm doing absolutely fine, my friend. It's cold, as it always is this time of year. How are y'all doing back in the motherland? Hey. Motherland's alright. We got, it's quite cold over here as well. So, global warming, yay or nay? Nah, I don't think global warming is something that I or the human species should be worried about. Full stop. Now, number one is that, alright, you say it's warming. Now, where is the warming occurring? Because right now, I'm in North Dakota, I'm in Fargo, it's -4 degrees right now, and there's a flurry of snow just covering everything. Now, if it's supposed to be the warmest year, why am I still having to use antifreeze on my car just to get to work every single goddamn morning? It's unfair, you know. I'd love me some global warming if you just gave it to me, you know. I want to get to my work at ease without antifreeze. Now they're just using this as an excuse to put me out of work. Now, how are they using it? Okay, number one, there's many reasons why global warming doesn't necessarily mean warmer temperatures everywhere. It can also mean cooling. But like, since this is your segment about your facts, we're gonna let you believe what you believe instead of trying to convince you otherwise. What else? Why were you worried about them taking away your job? Now, mate, climate change. It's an excuse that my friend, I thought he was my friend, but Roger from down Fifth Avenue, he said that I gotta stop using my cattle, and he says that he got to take the cattle away from me. Now, I make my living off the fat of the land. Now, I want to use my cattle for grazing, for food, for the purposes that a farmer uses his cattle for. Now, if I can't use my heifers for their heifering purposes, what good am I to the fat of the land? Now, he says that their farts produce something called methane that's all messing up the atmosphere and all that. Now that's just another reason that Obama has chosen just to kick us out of our properties, out of our farmland. Now, that's not fair. Now, another thing that Roger said is that he bought a Tesla. Now, he said it's eco-friendly, whatever that means. Now, y'all can take your Teslas and just keep them to yourself. Because what is the fun of a silent car? I want my car like I like my food. I want it to be loud and filled with oil that I know is juicy and I know will get me to where I want to be. Now, I think, personally, I ain't saying what you're saying, but personally, in my opinion, I think this all is just a big conspiracy created by the Chinese. Why would you say that it's a big conspiracy caused by the Chinese? I think it's a big conspiracy caused by Chinese because look at everything around you. Look at the clothes you're wearing. Look at the paper you're riding on. Look to the back and y'all see it's made in China. Now, tell me why one good reason why this ain't made in China as well? I think climate change is made in China. End of discussion. They're the ones polluting. That probably the climate change is their problem. Why do we gotta worry about it? Okay. Now, see, if climate change isn't only China's problem. I'm assuming as a lot of country fans like you enjoy the art of going outdoors and actually fishing. Now, here's a fun fact. Fish population has actually been declining, and a lot of it has been due to acid rain or other problems as a consequence of climate change. Now, do you not think that's a bit fishy? Do you not think that climate change has anything to do with it? Fishing. Look, we got good seasons and we got bad seasons. If it's a good season, we say hallelujah, we're catching a lot of fish. If it's a bad season, thanks, Obama. That's our reason. I mean, it's simple as that. I mean, how like they're making us think how bad this thing is. I mean, is it really that bad? I mean, okay, let's take another planet in our solar system into account. Now, Mars, that planet ain't even got an ozone layer. And you got people over here busting their nuts trying to get all the way to Mars, even though it ain't got no ozone layer. Now, I'm thinking, if that place ain't got an ozone layer and people want to go there, why can't we be fine over here? We can breathe the actual air, you know? We don't really need an ozone. It don't make no sense. Now, the real problem is the chemtrails. Now, the chemtrails are the real problem, but I ain't gonna get into that because that's some deep topic right there. Okay, so you don't believe the fishing, you don't believe anything else. You think it's all about Chinese and everything. But what about all the floods and these natural disasters that are on the high right now? What are your thoughts on that? Do you think that is, do you not think that's caused by climate change or anything? Look, my friend, floods happen. Floods been happening for centuries. I've had good years, bad years, where there's been lots of flooding, there's been less flooding. Now, back in the day, you didn't see Noah complaining about the big flood. All he did was build a boat and dealt with it. So if God wants to give a flood to me, I'ma do what he did and build myself a big boat. Put two of everything in there. That's all you need. Look, I'm gonna put everybody apart from Hillary Clinton on that boat, because she's the devil. And that is what I'm gonna do when there's a flood. You just gotta look at it practically. The Bible has got all the answers, my friend. Okay, that before we numb our brains with more alternative facts, that was Trace saying several reasons why he believes that climate change is not real. That was our first ever segment of alternative facts with our friend Trace. Thank you so much, Trace. No problem, my friend. It was a pleasure speaking to you anytime, my friend. And speak to y'all later. Hallelujah. Okay, so next up, we're going to be talking to our friend Abu. Like last week, he talked to us about economics. This week, he's going to be telling about his traveling journey in a segment called Abu's Travel Logs. Now, next up, coming from a band that I absolutely love, their name is basically like an expression, aha. Like, haha, lol, but aha. This song is one of their, it's a popular song, but it's not really played a lot these days because it's quite old. But we love old. Old is gold. So this is Aha with Train of Thought.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
Doing It, the country songs by Blake Shelton and the Oak Ridge Boys. We all need a little country music in our day just to make it a little bit more twangy, because that's what life needs. A little bit more twang, whether it be the banjo or the fiddle. We all need a little twang in our life. So now we're going to go to Abu Ayub, our correspondent who's been with us from the very beginning, traveling around the world, telling us about his experiences with his friend Pierre. Now, Pierre did cover last week, so it's time for Abu to, do some work. And here he is with his account of his trip to Italia. So, Abu, take it away. Hello everybody, my name is Abu Ayub, originally from Qatar. Now I'm traveling the world. I'm also an American citizen. So this time I went to Naples in Italy. I was going to go visit my friend Pierre in France, but the weather these days, I seriously cannot be asked to freeze myself in this godforsaken cold temperature. So I said, I'm gonna, friendship is important, but my peace of mind is also important. So I said, okay, Pierre, I cannot make it to you. I have an important meeting in Naples with spaghetti bolognese. So I decided to take my EasyJet ticket. I changed it from France to Naples. So let's start with that. EasyJet. Now, I was told it is quite a fascinating airline to fly on. So I thought, okay, I will take EasyJet. It is quite cheap. It is reasonable. So I went on EasyJet, and one thing I have to say is that the food they served there was more B-Tech than the actual qualifications of the air hostesses that were on the airplane. And but despite the food being of very low standards indeed, we landed safe and sound, even though the plane was in a condition that looked like it wanted to kill itself mid-flight. But thank God we landed safe and sound. So that was one thing that was very important. So the first thing I did when I actually went to Naples was I thought, what is Italy known for? And one thing that it is known for is pasta. So I went to pasta shopping, and I was surprised to see there were so many different types of pasta. There were different colors, different shapes, different sizes, and I wondered if pastas can actually live in harmony with such diversity, why cannot us humans do the exact same? You do not see one pasta claiming to be more superior than the other pasta and then invading other pasta plates. That does not happen. We humans need to learn from pasta. That is my advice of the day. Learn from pasta. If they can be diverse and survive, so can we. So after my pasta shopping, I took the day off to chill, and the next day was quite a big day. I went to climb the Mount Vesuvius. Now Vesuvius was the volcano that erupted a few hundred years ago that absolutely destroyed the people of Pompeii. And I thought, you know what any sane man would do? Let us climb the volcano that has taken away so many lives. So I went up the volcano, quite scared, because it is quite a tall volcano, and there's no barrier. It is just a little wooden fence. Anybody can just jump over it or slip, and it was quite a slippery day because it was raining and everything. So I went on top of the Vesuvius and I was enjoying the views, and I just see this couple. They start making out on the rim of the volcano. Now why would you do that on the rim of the volcano? Out of every single place to make out, you are making out in the rim of a volcano. Now I mean, it is basically like making out where, say you're on a historical trip, right? And you decide to make out where Hitler once stood. I mean, that is not. I mean, sure, if you have some weird fetishes, that may be your cup of tea. But I mean, seriously, don't lose the view for other people. It is not. Think about the others. That is what I have to say. So after I saw the volcano that killed the people of Pompeii, I thought, let's pay the people of Pompeii a little visit. So I went to the Pompeii, and it was absolutely huge. There were statues everywhere. There were massive statues, and there was so much nudity. I mean, I have not seen this much nudity since I was in France in a nude beach. There were literally naked Roman statues everywhere, from Caesar to his Caesar salad to whatever they called them back in the day, and it was absolutely huge. But I was looking back at their way of life and how they used little pots and little pans to do their cooking and other sorts of accessory things that they did, and I felt quite bad for them. Not only did they have hamburgers back in the day, they did not have hamburgers, they did not have Wi-Fi, and to top things off, they got absolutely incinerated by a volcano. So life back in Pompeii, I take my life today as quite for granted, but when I went there, it really made me think about what things not to take for granted. Wi-Fi and hamburgers is definitely one of them, because I do not live next to a volcano, because why would you live next to a volcano, especially when it's about to erupt? That's just absolutely crazy. And the last thing I have to say was that the people over there were so nice. I mean, I downloaded this app, this Italian app, now because I wanted to speak to the people. Yeah, I believe when you go to a country, you have to speak the way the people speak. So I downloaded the Italian app, and so I tried to put my best accent. So I went to them and I was like, "Buongiorno," that I think, in my opinion, that is pretty good. And the people were so nice. They actually thought I was Italian, and then they thought I was Italian with probably some speech impediment issues, because I went quite a bit Middle Eastern in the middle of speeches. So apart from that, the people absolutely fantastic. They give me free stuff. They said, we are brother. Let us give you free olive oil. Oh my God, how much they love the olive oil. They put quantities of olive oil in every single food. You have pasta, it is absolutely drenched in olive oil. Now, I don't understand how that much oil is healthy for you, but I was not complaining, because hey, who does not like a bit of oil in their life? Am I right? So that was my journey to Naples this time. Back to you. Thank you, Abu, for your very insightful account onto Naples and Italy, so that if anybody wants to go somewhere in the spring, or if you're feeling a little cold around here, what better place to go than Italia? I mean, it's not too far. You can get EasyJet, despite the B-techness of their food, and you can also visit the lovely people and the lovely sites, historical, or do your diverse pasta shopping. Next up, we're going to be playing a song by a classic 70s/80s rock band called Boston. Oh, they have some classic songs. This song is one that every single time it comes on, you just gotta sing to it. This is More Than a Feeling by Boston.
This is Insanity Radio, 103.2 FM.
I Ran by a Flock of Seagulls, another 80s absolute hit classic. Now, this brings us to the end of today's Waqattack. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. If you have any suggestions, feel free to tweet at me at either Insanity Radio or at Chaudhry Waqas 3. I'm open to your criticism and acknowledgments, whatever they may be. And today let's do a little summary. We start off with A Little Gold by Spandu Ballet. Spandu, I think that's how you spell Spandu Ballet. Yeah, Spandu Ballet. No, yeah, Spandu Ballet. Spandu Ballet. And then we're going to end with a great Jamaican hit. Through our journey today, we experienced a woman in a tornado who survived it thanks to seeking refuge in a bathtub, a dude who used wind as an excuse of speeding, a large federation in Australia of nature reserves that want to milk spiders for the benefit of mankind, and we learned a bit about alternative facts, which is a word that's been tossed around a lot these days. And again, alternative facts, these aren't real facts. These are facts that you think are real, but they may not be real. It's all about opinion. That's why they're called alternative facts. And we learned about how climate change is just a big phony concept created by the Chinese. Not really, this is alternative facts. And then we ended with our friend Abu, who told us about his amazing adventures in Naples, which is a beautiful country, not a beautiful country, beautiful city. Italy is the country, Naples is the city. Beautiful city indeed, a part of a beautiful country. So hopefully you enjoyed today's Waqattack. I hope you guys have a fabulous rest of the day, and also rest of the week and the weekend until we meet again, which is going to be next Thursday, 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. I'll be here for you guys. And till the next time, this is Chaudhry Waqas signing off from Waqattack. And I'm going to sign you off with a classic Jamaican hit from 1976, which was also featured in James Bond Moonraker. This is Chase the Devil. Have a fabulous day, you guys. See you next Thursday.
Lucifer, son of the morning, I'm gonna chase you out of earth.